So what's it like being homeless in Dallas? So you were in a tent downtown?
No, I wasn't in a tent. I was just out, just lay on the concrete.
I've seen some stuff being homeless that I don't think I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I built a shack out of wire mesh.
Oh, you lived in that shack for 15 years?
Yeah, 15 years.
I've heard it from multiple artists that this program has saved their life.
You could not access probably 3/4 of the sidewalk. It was filled with tents and pallets.
And this is my little hut.
Summer must be the hard season.
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot. There's a level of desperation. You can't sleep well. Yeah, it's miserable. We would, I think, probably a couple times a week get in the habit of bringing popsicles out with us early in the morning just because it's 100 degrees by the time you make it to 9 a.m.
We've declared an end to street sleeping in our downtown.
Here in Dallas, we are in a public park, and what you don't see is a homeless tent. All the people living in homeless encampments downtown Dallas have been housed, and there was homeless tents everywhere. How did it happen? We're here to show you.
You guys showed different times to do. I want out of here so bad. I want home, but I can't. I physically can't do this anymore.
Since 2021, when we transformed our approach, we have housed close to 17,000 individuals since that time period, which is equated to a 28% decrease in unsheltered homelessness on any given night and a 24% decrease overall.
Every day early, about 5 or 5:30, pack up my little blanket and stuff, and then I put it in the cart, and then I go sit at the city hall and wait till it was convenient for me to go shower. And then I would come back over there, and then I would go in the library when they was open and stuff.
So you were in a tent downtown?
No, I wasn't in a tent. I was just out I got me some cardboard and just lay on the concrete. So Stu Pop put me in a motel, and then when the apartment was supposed to be ready, then they came and got me and took me to the apartment.
I think we ended up housing just over 50 individuals from around just the perimeter of the library in Zone 1 last summer. That parking lot right there was completely full. Like, you could not park cars in it around the whole perimeter of that fence.
Historically, sweeps are done when usually law enforcement comes and says, hey, we're not gonna have this anymore. And the tents are gonna be mowed over, any belongings that are left are gonna be thrown away. A decommissioning is designed with really the entire continuum of care involved. And we target locations and say, hey, we're gonna prioritize people for housing and for shelter in this area. We're gonna reach out to them every single day over a period of time and make sure that all the needs are addressed, and that if people need a higher level of care, they get a higher level of care. We're trying to avoid the whack-a-mole game of, hey, we clean out this area and people move across the street or, a block or two away, and move to, if we're saying, hey, this area is a priority for us, then let's make sure that those individuals, have access to the resources they need.
We started on July 1st engaging in all 3 of those zones, and then in under 100 days from July 1st, we housed 107 people out of those specific areas. And that was kind of really what launched the unsheltered response downtown. Gosh, between July 1st of 2024 to May of this year, we housed over 257 people out of downtown.
We've actually declared an effective end to street sleeping in our downtown core.
We housed another 50 individuals out of this area. So that entire fence line up to that set of trees on the other side of the highway was covered in tents.
Everything over there, all tents. Everything over here, all tents.
Yep.
And now, grass.
Grass. For the longest time, I think the perception around downtown was always that downtown needed its own strategy, that it was a huge problem that we didn't quite know how to address. And then I think it took all of us partners coming to sit at the table to say, we actually do know how to address it. We need the will to do it. We need the staff to do it. We need the project management structure and the people to do it. And then when all of those people actually sat around at a table, made plans together, and then committed to upholding those plans and committed to the work, you get pretty tremendous results.
Hello. Hi. Can you let me have? All right, thank you. Stu Pot, they provide law service. When I was still living on the street, I was actually coming here and I was gonna get my teeth pulled and get my dentures. Go to the pantry every 2 weeks.
How long were you outside?
About a year. Well, my mother had passed away and I was her caregiver and I wasn't receiving a salary for that. The landlord, we lived in a condo, he had agreed that, once, everything was settled and, insurance monies were paid out, we could work like that, but he didn't want to do that. So I ended up on the street. And I also had custody of my nephew, at the time was 16 years old. As soon as I was able to get a place to stay, he and I moved back in together and been there 5 months so far and I'm enjoying it, thank God.
Ultimately, if you're not placing people in housing, as more people fall into homelessness, where do those people go? You're not making new spots for them in shelter because the shelter population is stagnant. And that was the Austin Street situation, when I got here 10 years ago, was the people had been at Austin Street for years. And for many people, it was their last stop. They lived the last days of their life in shelter. And so it's really been a reorientation, both of our organization, but also, kind of in our community to make sure, hey, we need to make sure that we're housing focused.
So everything from really this fence line all the way down to the next block, you could not access probably 3/4 of the sidewalk. It was filled with tents and pallets because they had really nowhere else to go and they had never really been offered a strategy to actually resolve their homelessness. Wonderful thing I think about our partnership with the city of Dallas is that they allow us to come in and actually house people. They also understand that the way that you solve homelessness is through housing, not through criminalization. So the actual closure maintenance, it's primarily led by multidisciplinary response teams that the city of Dallas has roaming throughout downtown, really at all hours of the day, engaging with people, reminding them that they can't sleep here, and then connecting them to shelter. So we're really not trying to arrest our way out of this problem, even in the closure maintenance side of things.
You're offering a shelter bed, not the promise of a shelter bed. And the shelters are a path to housing.
Right.
Not permanent residence in some shelter.
Exactly.
This has to be a space where an unsheltered citizen can come, take a deep breath, and contemplate what's my exit strategy from homelessness. We want to offer every service necessary right here on our campus that would facilitate a guest recovering from homelessness and being in a position to sustain that housing solution. We're excited because 95% of our guests at 6 months, at 12 months, they're still in that housing solution.
You all right? All right. We have 451 people that stay with us every night, and every night we're full. That includes a 30-person medical respite unit. We've got an on-site mental health care partner. Average length of stay has been as low as an average of 47 nights. It's gotten as high as maybe 150. We're probably at about 110 right now. We're estimating about 8,000 people falling into homelessness every year in Dallas. And so we're trying to make sure we get as many people placed as possible. And we're placing over 500 people a year, from Austin Street into a permanent home.
Yeah, I built a shack out of wire mesh.
And how long did you live there?
15 years.
Oh, you lived in that shack for 15 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
One morning, these two ladies approached me. I was outside drinking coffee. And then they started talking to me about how I would like for these ladies to help me get a place to stay in. And I wasn't sure that I was hearing what I was hearing. I was kind of like, no, that's not happening. And I said, you know what? If y'all guys are for real, there's nothing more that I wish if y'all find me a place to stay and get me out of the streets. And they brought me to Austin Street, and I was there for 2 months now. And now I'm here. I'll be 72 in next month. I'm ready to relax and then unpack. And I am dying so much to go through bag after bag after bag and to say where I want to put it because that's where I want it. I was taking so much to hear the sound of the key unlocking that door. And so I feel very grateful. There's no way to express my happiness right now, the way I feel. I'm very happy, very happy. I'm home.
It makes our community all the more vibrant when we help to lift up our vulnerable people as opposed to incarcerate them.
By targeting the downtown area and getting every person that was living in a tent into housing, they can now allocate those resources to other areas of the city.
We come in every Wednesday and Thursday. Y'all gonna see us every week. So we're meeting new clients, trying to get their Texas IDs. We start with a social security card and then work with a birth certificate. And we just walk them through the process and help them with everything that we can so the ID will help them get housing and try to get jobs.
This is not easy. You are busy all day, constantly. I'm going and going. I'm physically disabled, and I just keep going. And you guys showed up just in time. She showed up good. I want out of here so bad. I want home. I physically can't do this anymore. So next thing, I gotta get into a place. I can't do this anymore.
We're gonna work the whole thing.
I can't do this anymore.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
As long as you keep working with us, we're gonna try to work it out.
Oh, whenever you need me, I'll do it.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm working. I'll do anything, you know.
I thank you for working with us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
So we out here, we're bringing little snack bags, we're bringing water, we're reassuring them that we're gonna connect them with resources that are available. In Miss Lisa's situation, she does have disability income, so I'm gonna focus on basically trying to find her first floor unit since she's blew out her knees. So we just making sure that we're reassuring her that we are working diligently towards getting her a unit and that we haven't forgot about her. Okay, it's on that side, so we go on this side first.
It is screaming hot out here. Can you imagine living outside, having to bring your water and your food, trucking it to where you feel safe every day? I'm blown away at outreach workers coming out in this heat, reaching out to connect to people because we need to get these people into housing. And that's why Stupot Outreach is doing what they're doing.
Okay. And the host, have you been experiencing homelessness?
No, only 6 months.
Just 6 months?
The last
He was working and things, so he said he's trying to find stable work that'll deal with his knee injury, but it's been hard on him.
So the Stupot started when there were folks that were hungry on the street, and we had a food pantry, but the folks that were outside couldn't, open a can of beans. And so the church members started doing stew and soup, and that's how the Stupot came to be. So the Stupot's grown somewhat organically, but with medical and dental, actually primarily dental, because people couldn't eat because their teeth weren't good. And another early program was ID services, because folks on the street a lot of times lose their IDs, their vital documents, and they can't get employment or housing without those documents.
The Stupot is a faith-based organization, and they provide wonderful services to their homeless neighbors. And you know what's really important and so cool is they're focused on getting people from the streets into housing. Imagine if every church, every synagogue, every temple did the same. The state of Texas has passed an anti-camping law. It's cruel. It is a waste of taxpayer money, and it's only going to make homelessness worse.
The reason it's not good just to fine and arrest people for homelessness is because it actually doesn't solve the problem. I mean, I've talked to police officers, from transit police to DPD cops. They see it themselves. You arrest someone who's homeless, they go to jail for a couple of nights, and then come right back out to the streets and just do it all over again. And the root cause and the root problem of homelessness is a lack of affordable housing. When people have a place to live that they can afford, where they have the supports, the health care, the assistance that they need, then we don't really need police to get people into those services. And they don't need hospitals nearly as much anymore. People don't go to jails as much. That's what actually solves the problem.
The myths are what? If you bring in services to the homeless into your neighborhood, crime is going to increase. We're the poster child for how it doesn't have to be that way. We have transformed this area. Crime is down over 55%. Property values are up over 350%. We have 2 high-dollar apartment condo buildings right across the street from a homeless shelter.
I mean, you also have private businesses that are so exhausted of the problem, but the city was also a really wonderful partner in reminding those stakeholders, we have a strategy, continue to work with us. How can we help manage your needs in the meantime? We have outreach teams who they saw us out here every single morning. Then we were actually able to give them a date. So around here, we would say, you know, by mid-August, we're actually going to be able to resolve this and then maintain the closure of it. So we're going to solve the problem for you. Just give our teams the time to work so we can actually get people housed in that interim.
But no fencing.
No fencing.
I feel like that's the most typical answer that cities go for.
Yeah.
Just fence off the area.
Yeah. If only fencing actually solved homelessness, you know?
We had to come to the table to listen to the calls from these downtown businesses because they're bringing data on economic atrophy downtown because of violent crime. We have to show up and demonstrate impact, and that's how we grow our base of powerful ambassadors that are willing to fight for our rehousing dollars each year. And guess what? Crime did decrease by 26% in those areas just in the last few months because crime and homelessness happen in the same places. The encampment becomes a shield for all of this other illicit behavior. So it's not that we're promoting the idea that people who are homeless are criminals. It's just that that's the nature of these urban cores. And we have to change perception and feeling about the progress, and the way we do that is by ending street homelessness. We can work with local government who is enforcing local ordinances while also meeting the needs of people who are experiencing homelessness and getting them housed. We don't have to choose one or the other, and I think that's what you see happening in communities across the country is they're choosing enforcement.
The mindset of all of this, you know, homelessness is not a moral failing. It's a reflection of a system that's not working for everybody. So we make the system work for more people, and voila.
Okay, now a lot of boxes, they've been in storage since 2020, and they never been unpacked because I went from homeless back and forth. And this is my little hut.
Little hut?
Uh-huh. My own roof, my own surrounding for me, and everything. Privacy. Okay, this is a lot of boxes, I know.
When are you moving?
Supposed to be the 1st.
Oh, that's next week.
Well, they're gonna set up an inspection. Soon as the inspection, I can move. I turned 71 after I moved in here September the 4th.
You're no longer homeless.
No longer homeless, and I don't want to be it no more.
What we're seeing is that people want to be housed. People want a home. They want a safe, decent, affordable home. They want to be able to live, work, and play in the place of their choice, just like the rest of us. And so we're seeing greater cooperation with Dallas Police Department than we ever have before. We're seeing the political will being pushed toward providing services to get people housed rather than simply to put people into jail so they can be homeless all over again. There's a direct correlation between homelessness and incarceration. There is a significant portion of people who end up going to jails and then back to the streets and then jails and back to the streets. But fortunately in Dallas, we've had some great programs that we've been able to work with, especially the Deflection Center. Instead of going to jail for Class C misdemeanors or minor offenses, they can go to a service provider and be able to get mental health care and behavioral health care and substance abuse care and housing assistance.
I made it look easy. I'm 58, young.
58 years young.
They came and let us know that we're about to be booted from the parks. You guys can't sleep there anymore, but would you like your own spot? I was like, oh yeah. I've been in my own apartment ever since.
Donald experienced unsheltered homelessness. I think he would oftentimes bounce around this area, but would primarily sleep in one of our public parks downtown. I think we probably met him in late September, early October. We moved him into his own apartment the day before Thanksgiving in 2024.
We had a good park over there. I mean, I had a crock pot though, and I whipped it up right there, and I brought it with me as a souvenir now though. This one I had when I was at the park, y'all. It's a small one, but it got the job done.
What was it like you're walking into your new place?
Oh, it's undescribable, but hey, that's, that's mine, y'all. That's my Cadillac, my Roadmaster.
Our art program was really significant, where people can actually earn income. We have probably 20 to 30 artists.
With people that are suffering from trauma?
Yes.
That, you know, the current trauma of living on the streets or past trauma, that they're able to express themselves,
yes,
get out of themselves. Art and music plays such an important role in recovery,
yes,
if you would.
I've heard it from multiple artists over the years that this program has saved their life.
Yeah.
This program.
That's awesome.
There's recovery in all of it, I think.
Yeah,
for,
you just
expression.
provide the space and the supplies and let them go.
Right.
And then this happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Positive energy is what I like to convey in my art also. I have been in the Dallas Street Choir for a long time. The choir has kept me well scheduled, consistent. It keeps me focused on good things in life and give society an example that humans do exist in all stages of life.
Sometimes we forget to provide opportunities for vulnerable communities that enrich them beyond basic needs, and empowering individuals through arts and music outreach can really not just only provide joy, but empowerment, community, mental health, all the good things.
The Dallas Street Choir came to my life in a moment, of course, of hardship, and it was an outlet. Of course, in a lot of ways, it was therapeutic. Homeless, like, it's a reality that we don't like to see, we don't like to talk about it. It's loaded with shame. I purchased property after 4 months in the shelter. I own my own piece of land, so no one can take it away from me. And that's where I make my home.
It's not just about because we don't want to see people on the streets and that, is a problem. It really is about caring about people and wanting them to have the dignity and respect of sleeping in a spot that is a habitable spot, and not just sticking them in a, horrible apartment, but really putting them in a place that, you and I would feel comfortable going and staying in.
There was tons of apartments to choose from. I just wanted to stay in a specific place, knowing that my nephew was still in school, he wants to stay in the same school system. I had never, ever thought I'd ever have to experience homelessness in my life because, I've always had a job, always whatever, always had a place to stay. I went from an apartment to a park.
That must have been hard.
It was. I stayed in the same chair and position, sitting upright for 2 straight days. I didn't move. I didn't even get up to go to the bathroom. I just didn't move because I was scared because I didn't know what was going to happen. So it was good to have my own place,
What did it feel like walking in the front door first time?
You remember Tom Cruise's movie when he's running through the house in his underwear? That's what it felt like.
What's your future?
You know, that's why I'm making sure he stays in school and graduates.
For you to take care of family.
Well, we got to take care of each other. You know, we got nothing to nobody else.
Yeah.
Diversion is when somebody is about to lose their housing, whether it's eviction or maybe they've been staying with family. So helping the person problem solve, to think about what else is there. Is there another relative? Can we help you have some funds to do one more month of rent and get you back on your feet? So that diversion keeps people from having to need shelter or being on the street, because we know once somebody is on the street, it's so much harder to get back off.
We've scaled that intervention across our single adult population this year, and we've learned that that intervention costs 1/10 of a shelter stay. So if we can use resources wisely to divert people as quickly as possible, what we're doing is freeing up shelter beds for folks who really need them and stretching our dollars that we have in a system to serve more people.
I have been in hundreds, if not thousands, of homeless shelters. Yes. But we walk up and people smiling, playing football, you know, playing catch. I didn't know if they're clients or your staff. I think a little bit of both, right?
Folks should feel welcomed and wanted. That's what recovery is about. It's about crafting, trusting relationships. And if we can craft that foundational Maslow's hierarchy, 2 bottom rungs of that pyramid, we can build on top of that what's necessary for a person to take care of themselves and eventually sustain a housing solution of their own.
Yeah, Jay doesn't have to sleep in a tent there tonight because Jay has her own apartment and a case manager and has SNAP benefits now and Social Security. And it's like, I know that Jordan doesn't sleep against this anymore because Jordan has an apartment.
People shouldn't be allowed to sleep wherever they want, just as much as a business shouldn't be able to operate wherever it wants. But until there's housing,
right,
people got to sleep someplace, and you've solved that problem.
You don't actually have to choose between a compassionate response that resolves homelessness in the way we know how, which is by housing people, and also choosing between public safety and wanting your spaces to remain clear and accessible to everybody. So I think we've proven that, and I think we'll continue to prove that as we partner with the city and ensure that they have the tools and resources to actually maintain the closure of downtown.
Stories like Dallas validate that we can prevent and solve homelessness when we have the political and public will to make it happen. Criminalization is growing across the country. It will only make homelessness worse. We need to invest in solutions that actually work. We have shown you here in Dallas what happens when a community comes together to prevent and solve homelessness. Please contact your legislators. Ask them to support evidence-based solutions that will prevent and solve homelessness. You've seen that it's possible right here in Dallas. It's possible where you live too.